Welcome to the Vauxhall Home Nations football show. This time around we took the actual road to France and we've ended up here in Paris, the setting for the Euro 2016 final. To talk us through all the Home Nations journeys in qualification thus far are Iwan Roberts, Kevin Gallacher, Gerry Taggart and Ian Wright. It's time for the road to France, everybody. This time I literally went on the road to France and mapped out where each home nation is in relation to Paris. The first team we looked at was Scotland. We think Scotland are about here on the port waiting for the ferry to go to France. Of course, qualification is out of their hands at the moment. They're in a difficult group. They've had bad results against Georgia and Germany. Coming up, though, they're against Poland and Gibraltar. They're in the mix still, and they need to win those two games, but they need favours elsewhere. Kevin, what do you think about Scotland's chances?
I think basically, when we've gone down in the Georgia game, put us on a kind of hold, we kind of break at the service station just before the border. But, you know, we've got two cup finals now for us. We have an opportunity of getting results, so be it. We can win both the games to get to qualify third place for the qualifiers, for the playoffs. Or we can draw, but we've got to rely on two other nations, and that's going to be a big ask for us. But we've got the squad there. The general has been one or two call-offs. We've got Graham Dorrans has come into the squad as well. So we've got players that can get the results for us, and we've got players that can score the goals for us to take us over the water.
And Ireland do need to beat Germany and Poland as well, or at least get a couple of results against those sides. So it's no foregone conclusion.
Not yet, but we put the brakes on too early. That's the problem. So once we get that handbrake off, it'll be nice, because it'll be nice just to sit in the ferry and travel over.
There we go. Okay, right, we have just arrived in France. We're about to drive off the ferry, and we think Northern Ireland are about here. They're looking very good for qualification, especially after getting that last gasp equaliser against Hungary at home. They've got two games left. One win guarantees them qualification. And one of their games, the next one, is against Greece at home. And Greece have been terrible this qualifying campaign, losing twice to the Faroe Islands. So an enormous party could erupt in Belfast if Northern Ireland can guarantee the qualification with a win at home. Then they go to Finland. Gerry, what a journey it's been for Northern Ireland. They're nearly there. What do you think?
Okay, well, yeah, so we've just landed in France, lads, obviously, the Green and White Army have just stocked up on all the duty free on the way over. Is
that where you stocked up?
The boat is now officially empty of everything.
Does that mean you're all sweet smelling? You're all after-shaved up,
yeah? Everything has gone off that boat, believe me. The boys have packed their vans, their cars, the mini buses, the coaches. We're on our way. Yeah. We are there. Yes, the door hasn't yet opened off the back of the ferry, but it's only a matter of time. Yeah. It's only press the winch button and down it drops, and on we roll.
Such a brilliant, just a beautiful visual. I can see it all.
We're now about 5 minutes outside of Paris itself by the A1, the road that leads directly into the French capital. We think Wales are about here. They are nearly there. They have just about qualified. They've had a fantastic campaign. Highlights include, of course, beating Belgium and taking a point off them away from home as well. They were so close to qualifying last time round, but this time round, surely they will do it. Chris Coleman and his men not only have been impressive in qualifying, but they could go to the tournament and actually do something worthwhile. Iwan Roberts, what are you thinking about all this?
I think it's quite straightforward for us Welsh, isn't it? We need a point from our next two games. Fully fit squad. Joe Ledley and Joe Allen are back. Gareth Bale's got over his calf injury, came on against... look at Kev smiling. He's been willing him to get injured all campaign. Willing him. He's been sticking pins in goals and all sorts. Bosnia will be tough, even though if we'd been without Gareth Bale, it'd been a massive blow to us. They're without Edin Dzeko. He's by far their main man. Everything goes through him. So they're not going to be half as strong as what they would be with Dzeko in. If we don't get the point against Bosnia, we've got Andorra at home, who've never won an away game in their history. So I'd love to put us by the Eiffel Tower, but I think you're spot on in where you put us.
And this, of course, is where England are. They've already qualified for France 2016 after breezing through qualification, quite frankly. Hodgson's side of 100% record so far and will want to finish with that in their remaining two games. But the trick for Roy Hodgson is, of course, is to turn that side into a tournament-winning team.
Well, we've been in Paris for a while now, waiting for the boys.
That's right.
Taking their time to get there, but
round and round the Arc de Triomphe.
with all due respect, our group, we've said it on the All Nations for so many times now. It's just an unbelievable group. You know what I mean? It's so easy. I think our main problems are going to come in the tournament. It's very hard to get excited about qualifying, because it hasn't been brilliant. Even in the games with some of these teams.
You think that'll have an impact on the tournament itself? Really?
Well, I just think that because the group's been so easy, and I think the last time we qualified was South Africa, and look, went there, it was embarrassing. But I feel with this one, I think everybody's just waiting for us to get there and see how we respond. We definitely need 3 or 4 players to be right on it. Preferably Sterling, Oxlade-Chamberlain. If John Joe Shelby, a midfielder, Ross Barkley, we need those kind of players to really hit the ground running, and hopefully that will galvanise everyone else.
We did also go to Lovelock Bridge, so hopefully Home Nations fans will be spending a bit of time there, and they might see this when they're there. At Lovelock Bridge in the centre of Paris, people come to leave markers for their Parisian memories. Hopefully the Home Nations will be creating some memories of their own next summer. Well, that was the road to France, everybody. Do leave your comments below and let us know where you think each home nation is currently in relation to Paris. Northern Ireland host Greece on Thursday night, and the Greeks have not looked too good in qualifying so far, having been beaten twice by the Faroe Islands. A win will see Northern Ireland qualify for France 2016. They just missed out last time against Hungary. They did grab a crucial point, of course, but there will be a celebratory atmosphere in Belfast come Thursday. Gerry, Northern Ireland, this is their chance. This is the chance to reach France against Greece at home. You've got to go for the win, surely.
Yeah, I don't think too much will change, to be honest, Marcus, with the setup of the team. They've been pretty consistent throughout the campaign in their setup, the way they've played, their style of play. So I don't really think they'll change anything going into this game.
Yeah, and Greece have had a disastrous campaign, so they're there for the taking. But as you say, Northern Ireland will take a more considered approach and grow into the game and not just go hell for leather early on, just ease into it, and hopefully they'll get McGuinness, do you think, who'll be in for the suspended Carl Lafferty on the ball and maybe get a goal or two? Yeah,
that's right. I think Josh will come into the side on Thursday night. He's the player that's been coming on as substitute when Michael's been making the subs. He hasn't started, but he will start. He will probably start purely based on the way he's been used as a sub. So he'll play through the middle on his own, as you would expect. And then getting support, even though Lafferty's out, Jimmy Ward coming back in is a major plus for Northern Ireland.
You think Dallas on the other side as well?
Yeah, again, I think Stuart Dallas, hard-working guy, puts a really good shift in for the team. He'll start on the left. Again, them two will support. McInnes, who's going to play the lone striker. And then obviously you've got the 2 guys in midfield who will also push up the pitch and get forward.
Greece have had a very, very poor qualifying campaign, Andy. Do they pose Northern Ireland a threat at all?
I think they do. It's easy to look at them and say they're winless. They've got a lot bigger things to think about than football in the country, and of course there are various corruption cases still going on with club football, which are casting a shadow over football in Greece. But you just have to look at the quality of the players in the squad and the fact that they're playing with pressure off, where national pride means a lot, but of course, they can't really get anything out of it. And there are a lot of players in that squad as well, I think, have come back into really good form this season. I mean, you're looking at Kostas Mitroglou, who had those knee difficulties, and he's been absolutely smashing it for Benfica this season. So, these are things that Northern Ireland have to be concerned about, because if you look at them player for player, not talking about where they are in the group, then Greece have got the better players.
How do you think they'll approach this in attacking sense? Will they try and stretch Greece, perhaps get a few crosses in, or do you think they'll try and play their way through the middle?
If you watch some of the games in Northern Ireland, what they have been doing, they've been getting good passing phases in the middle of the pitch between Norwood and Davis, Brunt supporting on that side and McLaughlin supporting on this side. These 2 fullbacks have been playing up here, getting forward, getting into this middle third where these passing phases are really important. This then gives you the template to go forward and join up with the front men. Dallas and Ward are very good at coming inside and linking up. Yes, Dallas can go down the other side and go on the outside or come inside, but it's important that the passing phases get built up in this middle third between Norwood, Davis, and I think this will be Paddy McNair as well. He'll just keep things simple. And
it's a big game for McGuinness. Presumably he's the man to go in there. How do you get the best out of him up front, because to go in such an important game with a partisan home crowd, you know, he'll be well up for it. So how do they get in
I think
to his style of playing?
I think the thing with Josh is, because he's coming in on a big occasion and there's a bit of pressure on him to do well, I think that the thing that Michael has to do is just to keep it simple. Use his strengths rather than trying to make him into something he's not. He's a different type of player to Kyle Lafferty. He's more of a player who'll make runs in behind, use his power and his pace. He's not as good on the ball, or he's not as good with his back to goal, but he's probably better at running in behind. So again, these passing phases being built up in the middle third, Josh will then come into these little roles and then spin and make little runs in behind. That then gives a space for people like Jamie Ward to come inside and take up the space that he's leaving by making these stretching the game in behind. So it's important that the two wide players fill the gaps that he leaves. And again, when that happens, you're looking for these two to get forward and join in, and then picks things up on the edge of the box, get your shots away.
For more information on the game itself, search Vauxhall Northern Ireland Football on Twitter and Facebook. Scotland host Poland on Thursday night in an absolutely crucial match in the group of death. Scotland need to win this one to have a real chance of progressing to France, of course. Poland are vying for top spot with Germany, so we can expect a feisty encounter at Hampden Park. Absolutely desperate for a win here. They've got to go and attack Poland. How are they going to do that?
Well, they've got to do it from the front. There's no doubt about it, Marcus. We can't sit back and go on a counter-attack. We need to take it to Poland, and I think the front four is going to be very key. You know, Maloney, I think, playing in behind.
He's going to be the playmaker.
I think so. I think he's got to be in there. He's got to make it tick. You know, I think in there and get the two wide boys pushed up, because we've got to keep Poland as far away from our goal as possible as well, and that's going to be difficult. So for me, the two wide boys, whoever's going to be in that, whether it's Anya, whether it's Richie, we've got massive options to go in that area. We've got to press them high up the park.
Who do you think he'll go for up top? Presumably on the origin. Would he go for someone like Stephen Fletcher to maybe sort of hold the play up and bring others in like the wingers you say, or is he going to go for more of a off the shoulder kind of traditional number 9?
I think for definitely for the Poland game, Stephen Fletcher's the man who's going to lead the line. There's no doubt about it. He's stuck with them. He's led the line well. Yes, he's only scored these 3 goals against Gibraltar, but he's due. He's been getting chances and he's due another one. He scored at the weekend, and again, hopefully, he'll lead the line. He's the best one for us, I think, of holding it up and getting the support play that we can get people like Sean Maloney forward. If it's Sean, it's in that area. Stephen Naismith could be the other one.
Well, I'm bringing the 2 wide players in, but would you fancy Naismith in one of those wide roles, to kind of more cutting into the box like he does for Everton, or would you prefer more kind of wingers like an Anya maybe?
The good thing is we've got options.
Yeah.
We've got Naismiths, we've got Richies, we've got Anyas, we've got even you can put Maloney out there, and it comes in from a wider area. So we've got all those options. We've got options to change it up front and go 2 up front as well and surprise Poland and go something different. But I think Gordon's stuck regimented to the 4-5-1, and I think in general with the 4 players going attacking, I think he'll think that's the safety valve of going forward, and we've got the protection in front of the back 4 as well.
Poland have had a pretty good campaign so far. They go away to Scotland, and Scotland are going to have to be at their best to beat the Poles, because they've got a bit of quality in that side and need a win as well.
Yeah, they really do. But personally, I think that the way to look at it from a Scottish perspective is from a positive perspective. If they win both these games, I think Scotland get into 3rd spot, because I can't see Republic of Ireland getting more than a point out of those 2 games. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for them. So obviously, with Gibraltar to come, it all relies on the Poland game. Now, I think where you take the positives, if you're Scotland, is the fact they played very, very well in Warsaw, and it took the Arcadius Milik equaliser to peg Scotland back. But I really like Poland. I think they played really bravely when they went to Germany away from home. Of course, that's different because it's almost like a home game for them. There's so many Poles in Germany. But the spine of the Poland side is really good. They've got, of course, they've got a Kamil Glik at the back, who's a very, very good centre back for Torino. Krychowiak in the centre, one of the best midfield players in La Liga, the defensive midfield players in La Liga for Sevilla. And then, of course, Robert Lewandowski,
the big man
up front, and he is in absolutely monstrous form at the moment. You could argue he's the best number 9 in world football. So really, so much of it has to be about shutting him up.
So with regards to defence, I mean, you've got a little lad called Lewandowski attacking you up front, which 12 goals in his last 4 games, sorry to remind you. How are you going to deal with him? How is Scotland going to deal with him at the back?
He's a clever player. You know, I mean, I've watched him very, very closely over the last few games, and he is very clever. He doesn't like the defenders like to get close to him. He won't get close to the defender. He's always on the move in between them. It will be very, very difficult for them, and that's why the 2 centre midfielders will be key, stopping and protecting the ball going into Lewandowski. But it's not, we can't just worry about him because there's other players around that can hurt Scotland as well. So the key for it is, if you're playing higher, is then you've got the pace at the back, and you must, and everything is going to be in that midfield area. So if we've got the hunting midfielders to protect in front of Lewandowski, then it allows, whether it would be Grant Hanley coming in at the back because Charlie McGrew's got a little bit of a niggly injury, whether we've got the full-backs coming in. Whittaker played defensively against Poland over there. You might bring a young boy Robertson in at left back. Alan Hutton, I think, will start on the right. So we've got the full-backs to go on the attacking pace, but we're going to have to be strong in this 4 area here.
For more information on the match, search Vauxhall Scotland on Twitter and Facebook. It's that time again, everybody. The world famous like-dislike, where a statement is read out and then the chaps decide whether they like it or dislike it. Easy, Jerry. I'm starting to get careful. Mr. Ian Wright, you have the first statement.
England will have top scorer in the Euros.
Do we like or dislike that?
I'm going.
How predictable.
I'm going. Can I just say?
Far away.
I just feel that Daniel Sturridge, people always talk about injuries and is he going to stay fit. I feel that if he can stay fit, he's got the ability and the confidence to maybe, with a Sterling firing, with Oxlade-Chamberlain firing, I think they can create chances. And then you just need somebody to get hot. I think he's got the capability of getting hot.
Jerry, you were very keen to say no there.
I agree.
Or dislike.
I sort of agree with Ian there, but there's too many if, buts and maybes.
Yes. Okay, now time for the second statement. Kevin.
Scotland can qualify for the Euros.
Do we like or dislike that? Okay, so good. You're thinking of it.
Not my thinking of it is we've got so many options to qualify. You know, Ireland have got 2 tough games. If they lose both of them, we draw against Poland, beat Gibraltar. We're going to the playoffs, so we're in the playoffs. So we've got a massive chance of getting there.
You're not convinced?
I just can't see it after the last 2 games. The defeat at Georgia was a massive hammer blow to you, I think. No disgrace in losing to Germany, but I think that bus of yours is on its way back.
Ewan, I believe you've got the third statement.
Yes.
Go on then.
Wales aren't as good as their FIFA rankings would suggest.
Okay, they're in the top 10 at the moment, FIFA rankings. Do we like or dislike that? Yeah?
You don't
Kevin?
think? Ewan's the only one who doesn't think.
Oh, I see, yeah.
I think we're a good side,
Yeah.
a very good side. But are we the 8th best side in the world? I don't think so. When you think, I think we're above, obviously England, we're above France, we're above Spain. Are we better than those teams? I'm not too sure.
Jerry, you've got the fourth and final statement.
Okay, Northern Ireland can withstand the pressure at Windsor Park.
Yes.
That's a boundary hit for 4.
Jerry,
Yes.
the voice of reason as always.
Yes, I think we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Simple as that. We've proved all the way through this qualifying tournament that, you know, when the big games need to be played, we've come up with the results.
But this is the ultimate big game for you now. This is it.
Yeah,
Will the
but-
players be able to rise?
I mean, England nearly
massive
choked
pressure.
with Greece at home
Yeah,
before.
listen,
Listen,
I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion by any means, purely based on, you know, our talisman is missing, Kyle Lafferty. So you're looking around thinking where the goal's going to come from, but
you're playing the
in
bottom.
saying that, but we're playing Greece, who are in, you know,
Turmoil.
let's face it, a bit of a mess at the minute.
Thank you very much, chaps. That was the Eagles' world famous like dislike. Get your comments in below and do feel free to let us know what you thought of any of those statements. England host Estonia on Thursday, and with the Estonians still in with a chance of qualification, this game is no dead rubber at all. England will want to maintain their 100% record in qualification, but will Roy Hodgson be experimenting at Wembley? Rooney's got his milestone, so he's got that monkey off his back. And you think that he might bring in Jamie Vardy?
Well, I don't think he will. I think he would still play
You would
Rooney.
hope that.
But you know what? I would bring in. I'd bring in Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of stick. There's a lot of negativity around Jamie Vardy, and as an Englishman in the Premier League at the moment, there's not many doing what he's doing. He's consistent. He's scoring. Yes, he's scored a couple of penalties, but he's consistent. He's making problems, getting penalty decisions, really harrying and causing people problems. Now, what I would do, and it's not happening for the skipper at the moment. He's got his milestone, and he will be at the European Championships. I would play Vardy. The fact he's come out of non-league and he looks to me like he's somebody who's relishing the opportunity to be playing at this level, but I think that he's worked hard to get to this point and he should get his chance.
Estonia travelling to Wembley, Andy. This shouldn't be too much of a problem for England, one would think, but England only beat them 1-0 away, and it was a set piece, of course, and Estonia technically can qualify.
They can technically qualify. It's going to be really difficult for them because they're hoping for Lithuania to go to Slovenia and get something, which I find really, really hard to imagine because Slovenia are easily the third best side in the group, if not the second best, with the difficulties that Switzerland have had. So Estonia need to go to Wembley and get something, at least a point, which is going to be immensely difficult. The thing is, they know the sort of team they are. They can't come out and have a go, even though a win would, maybe give them genuine hope. I mean, they've scored 4 goals in 8 qualifying campaigns as we go into this current round, so that's an absolute non-starter. They can be hard to break. And of course, their best player is Ragnar Klavan, their captain, who's a really good centre-back for Augsburg. But you just wonder where the attacking weapons are for them to do anything more than that.
Jamie Carragher said something in the press recently that Hodgson gives away caps a little bit too easily. I mean, you know what it's like being called up. Obviously, everyone has to work very, very hard.
Marcus, it took me 6 years.
Yeah, but do you feel that perhaps that people need to work for their England call-ups a little bit more?
It's a different time. Marcus, a different time, as we can see. You know what I mean? With all due respect to Dele Alli, I had him down at MK Dons in my 1 season down there. He's fantastic.
Yeah,
he's a brilliant footballer. Same with Brendan Galloway up at Everton. They're both fantastic. Dele's now being called up into the England squad in a campaign where we've blasted through. I think Dele's got plenty of time. Delighted for him. So I'll let him know how happy I am for him. But I would like to have seen Jason Puncheon.
right.
Somebody 28, 29. He's like the catalyst and the talisman down at Palace.
He's flourishing.
He is flourishing.
What do you feel maybe one of these wide positions?
Well, I think that if, with all due respect to Fabian Delph, if you're going to play John Joe Shelvey, I'd play Puncheon in and around there.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean, you could still play John Joe Shelvey or somebody, but I think have a look at him in a competitive game now that we've qualified. With Dele Alli, it's great to see somebody, but after 4 games for Spurs, you know, he's played at England at various levels, and he is a quality player, and he's gonna be a quality player. But I think that there's time for people like Puncheon just to get that shout. Now, I'm not saying over Dele Alli, but what you're saying about getting the caps quite easily, I think that Dele Alli will be more surprised than anybody that he's got that. So, yeah, you have to say that in the current climate himself, Danny Ings, you know, Danny Ings had a decent season for Burnley, came in and scored goals. And if you're English and you score goals in the Premier League, you're going to get in the squad. And it doesn't matter if you've been playing for like 5 years or 5 minutes. If you have a flurry of goals, you'll get in. Or if you play well in the midfield or defence, you will have to be looked at.
For more information on the match, search Vauxhall England Football on Twitter and Facebook. Wales are away to Bosnia-Herzegovina on Saturday the 10th of October. They missed out on qualification last time round, so they'll be up for it this time. Bosnia have had a funny few results at home, most notably Cyprus won there, so Wales will be very confident of winning the 3 points and qualifying for France, Euro 2016. This is how you think Wales are going to set up. They're going to go for the back 5 or back 3, depending on how you look at it, of course.
I think when we've got the ball,
Yeah.
it's a back 3. When we haven't got the ball, it's going to be a back 5.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough game. They've still got a chance of finishing 3rd above Israel, so they need to win this game against us. So I can imagine they're going to be really, really attacking.
And that's why you think perhaps a bit of caution with Wales.
Yeah, and Chris has done it, I think, for every away game in this campaign. He's played with 3 central defenders. James Chester, Ashley Williams and Ben Davis. They know their roles, they've got a really good understanding. Then obviously the wing backs, Chris Gunter, who we've spoken about, has been superb, an unsung hero in this campaign. The same with Neil Taylor. But obviously they're going to be under pressure So it's important that they do get protection from the midfield.
Yeah, and the protection coming from the midfield will be Joe Ledley, you would imagine.
Well, it's hard because you've got Joe Allen back in the squad, you've got Joe Ledley back in the squad. I think you can only start with one of those because they've missed so much football. I would put Joe Allen doing what he does best, doing what he does for club and country, sitting in front of the back three.
Starting the moves.
Yeah, breaking things up, that's what he's good at. And then when he breaks things up, he gives it to, I'd play Aaron on the left, Dave Edwards on the right, give it to the attacking midfielders.
Bosnia-Herzegovina haven't had the best of qualifying campaigns, having previously reached the World Cup. They would have wanted to do a little bit better, but they do pose a threat though.
They really do, and you know, for them it's a shame that they had, as you say, that kind of World Cup hangover. Such a terrible start to the group, but you know, there's quality throughout the squad. If you look at the other games with Israel presumably beating Cyprus, if Bosnia are going to have a chance of getting into that third place, they have to win against Wales. For me, they have to win their remaining two games.
They've got the players to win the game, haven't they?
Yeah,
I mean, obviously Wales are a very decent side.
Of course, they'll miss Edin Dzeko, who's going to be out with a knee injury. But in a sense, I think it makes things easier for Bazdarevic, the coach, just because I think he would have been tempted to play two up front with Dzeko and Vedad Ibisevic, who's come back after a terrible couple of years, has come back into really good form for Hertha Berlin this season. He's a guy who knows where the goal is, his movement's really clever. He can score the goals to get Bosnia where they want to go, but they'll probably just play one up front now. If they'd have gone 4-4-2, I think they would have got absolutely trimmed open by Wales, so it'd be interesting to see what happens.
And then going forward, you've obviously got the big man Bale there, back from his injury. It's been phenomenal for Wales as well. Who do you think he'll be playing behind in this particular game?
I think once again he'll go with Halrup and Carnage. I think Big Sam Vokes, he's done well in recent weeks for Burnley, got in the goals. I've put Gareth there. Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he doesn't start.
Right.
Chris keeps him on the bench, and because we've got Andorra at home.
True.
It would be great if we qualified at home. If we can get the points at Bosnia, brilliant. But it's going to be a tough game out there, hostile atmosphere. Gareth came on for the last 20-25 minutes against Atletico at the weekend. Is he 100% fit? Has he still got a problem with that calf muscle that he's had for the past 2 or 3 weeks? Hasn't had too much training. So I wouldn't be surprised if Chris sort of just keeps him from the Andorra game.
For more information on the match itself, search Vauxhall Wales Football on Twitter and Facebook.
It's time for the road to France, everybody. This time I literally went on the road to France.